to Smut and Schmooze, where each week we discuss a book that has piqued our interest. And this week we are doing The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, um, which has a lot of hype around it, and I am pretty pleased to say that it absolutely lives up to the hype. So yeah, Sunny, where do you want to start on this one?
Um, I would just like to start with how I just want to preface this by saying that the amount of representation in this book is delicious. There is, I think she's Colombian. Evelyn, is she Colombian or Cuban?
Cuban,
She's Cuban,
for
and
sure.
you she it's like a rags to riches type thing. Like, she wasn't born famous or anything. She worked her way up to that. She manipulated her way up to that. She fucked her way up to where she was today.
Truly.
And it was just a roller coaster seeing her get to her being poor and trying, just hardly getting, like, hardly being able to feed herself and her family, and then just how she gets to where she is, and the romance is good. I have to say this now before I forget, but they do mention the Stonewall riots, and I did piss shit vomit a little bit because that was fucking cool. I did not expect it, and I'm like, really not. Typically, I'm not a fan of timepieces, but this was really, really good.
It really was.
So,
And I agree with the whole representation. I wasn't expecting that,
mhm.
um, but much appreciated.
Yes.
So I didn't really know what direction this book was going to go because it starts off with the journalist who gets assigned to Evelyn Hugo because she personally asks for her. So you're starting off the book with the whole, like, why is she being requested? They've never met. Um, and you don't find out until the end. And that, I liked that element because it definitely added a little bit of mystery to it. So,
Hmm.
there's a lot going on with this, and I really appreciated it. Um, and I liked that character too. I don't
The
really have anything.
journalist.
Yeah, I don't really have anything special to say about her, but I did like her. I found her pretty chill and relatable.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, well, so she was okay, so at the time she was also going through a divorce.
Yes, she was.
And so she was like, she really, at the beginning, before she really knew Evelyn and her story, she was just like, "Oh my God, it's Evelyn Hugo. What wrong could she do?" Um, but you find out later,
Buckle
but
up. Everything. She
um
does everything wrong.
yeah. But I forgot where I was going with that, but yeah, anyway.
I think the start of Evelyn's career was really, I think, what you would expect for that time period, and just kind of a little heartbreaking as to what some women really have to go through. Not some, a lot of women. Like how we have to, like, climb our way up,
Hmm.
um, and how resourceful we have to be, whether that's, you know,
And how
very,
powerful men are in the industry.
when they shouldn't be. Um,
Hmm.
like her first marriage, pretty on par with
Dawn.
that. Donnie boy.
Dawn.
Wait,
Dawn
yeah,
was
he
it
was like
Dawn?
older,
Yeah.
the older guy. He was
Yeah.
kind of gross. She was
Um,
really young. She got
yeah,
married the
that
first
was
time, and
like
that was like a
at the
safety
beginning of
thing.
her career.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she marries an older man. It's kind of like a safety thing, um,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how she's able to, like, launch her career in the first place. Um, I don't. She's diabolical, and I'm really here for it. Um,
Her brain is just so
yeah,
big.
no, she knows how to
She
spin.
knows what she wants, and she knows how to get it, and she does. Which I respect. Girl, get your bag, get your paper, go crazy.
Absolutely. Um,
But also I was like, seven husbands? How do we get to this point?
I too.
Um,
I was like, oh my god. I was like, we're gonna go through seven of these. Like, I was very, and it didn't unfold the way I thought. Like, I think when everybody's fascinated by the fact that she's been married 7 times. And I was like, yeah, I'm real curious too. Like, she just, you know, I made the assumption, like we all do, which I, had to check myself a little bit. I was like, oh, she's just cycling through them. And I was like, I shouldn't think that way, And I liked that it was a lot more robust than that.
Yeah, she's a homie hopper.
Good for her. Also, do you think it's weird that, like, if men do that, it's just kind of looked past a little bit?
Right, yeah. So, really quick, if you want to talk about the double standard of how men can be sluts and they're praised for it, but if a woman does it, it's like, oh god, she's dirty.
She's a whore. A hooer.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't understand.
You're like, men will be like, oh yeah, I fucked this girl. But like 9 times out of 10, a woman cannot make listen, a man cannot make a woman come. So basically, she fucked you. Let's get that straight.
So true.
Anyway, whatever.
See, how everybody's like, Evelyn's had 7 husbands, and I'm like, I guess.
But okay, so there's good reasons. She has her reasons.
She definitely does.
Yeah. I really liked seeing her relationship with, I forgot, Sinclair. What was that woman's name? Her bestie? I forgot, something Sinclair.
Bruh.
Celia Sinclair.
Do they call her Cece? I call her Cece.
Cece or something. But so Evelyn meets this girl, Celia Sinclair. And on a movie they work on together, and at first Evelyn's like, I don't like her. She's better than me. She can go farther than I can. She was like threatened by her.
Immediately.
Yeah, but they ended up hanging out, and Celia kind of does the same thing that Evelyn does, like uses people to get what she needs and wants in life. Mm-hmm. And Evelyn saw right through that, and Evelyn's like, okay, maybe I can fuck with this girl. And so they become really close and they become friends.
They're husbands, because she was married to, what's his name, the other actor. Because they're all actors. And
yeah.
Anyway, their husbands were friends, and then they started hanging out. And then she decided, they had like a little thing going on.
Yes, which, I do want to bring up the point of lavender marriages in this book.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, like people get married to like a straight passing marriage so they can be in with their other person without being looked at.
It breaks my heart that people have and had to do that.
Yeah.
I will never understand. It just really makes me sad that people can't live authentically like that. Like, it's such a big deal, especially back then, that you have to have a friend like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I like growing up with, I had lesbian parents, and like I couldn't tell anybody, and that's not even that's the 2000s, and that was still an issue. Like, and they couldn't even get married until I was in college. But like, I couldn't tell people. Like, I think I had like 2 friends that I told.
I didn't know you couldn't tell people.
No.
That's news to me.
Where I lived, are you kidding me? Absolutely not. People were real fucking weird about it there. Like, it's just so weird. And I just think about how my parents had to lie about their relationship. And like the fact that people have to do that. Like, why? Who gives a fuck? But,
like the lengths people went to. Yeah. Like the lengths people had to go just to live their life authentically as they are. Um, it's it was interesting to read about how they maneuvered around that. Um, but now that is not to say that, okay, so Evelyn is bisexual. She did love some of her husbands, but like not for the ways that you would love a husband. Um, I mean, I guess. I mean, Dawn kind of like beat her up a little bit, but she was like, "Oh, my first husband, Dawn." Like even towards the end of the book, she was
Who
like,
was his second husband?
"Huh?"
Was he the actor? Dawn was the actor.
He was like I
Or was
swear
he
to God, he was
producer?
like the actor producer guy.
Y'all, we
Like he's
cannot sort through these 7 husbands. They're all, I don't even know their names anymore.
yeah,
I
okay,
couldn't
so
remember them when I was reading it.
yeah, no, they're not memorable is the reason. I can only remember Dawn.
Henry.
Um, but
Harry.
Harry,
Is it
but
Harry
Harry
or
wasn't.
Henry? He was the
It,
good one.
it was Harry, and
Harry.
Harry was gay.
He
Harry
was
was
gay,
gay.
so they got married so that he could also be gay, and Celia's husband was his partner. So they
Yes.
had like a whole thing. So Celia's husband and Harry were together, and then Celia and Evelyn were together, and that's how they hid that until, God, they split up so many times. Like, there's a lot of back and forth with her and Cecilia. And Evelyn, I do like the fact that Evelyn is upfront in saying, she's like, I do horrible, selfish things, and I don't regret any of them because I made those choices for a reason. And I do think that it is important to, when you make a choice, like, accept the consequence. And she does. I think that there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you should accept the consequence. And she really does. Like, she's aware. She weighs the outcomes, and she's like, I am confident in my decision. And that's fine. Good for you. It is not great that it does usually hurt or affect somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times, like, she made that decision to do that scene in that movie, that sex scene, and Celia didn't want her to do it, and she did it anyway. She did it before even asking her.
Yes.
And she knew
Uh-huh.
that was going to be an issue. So then they split up again. Because Celia did not feel comfortable with her doing that sex scene.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, they're not actually having sex. But anyway, like, if that's a boundary, that's a boundary.
Mm-hmm.
And something that you need to discuss with your partner ahead of time.
And it was with her ex-husband, by the way.
Oh, that's right, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Which
shitty one.
I get it. Which, okay, Evelyn, that was questionable. Like, why would you do that? She did it and she knew Cecilia wouldn't like it. She did it anyway for her career. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry I did that. Like, bro, you
She's
already
like,
did
my
it.
bad. Didn't mean to.
Yeah, okay.
Who did that? Not me. Um, so she definitely, yeah, she does sketchy shit like that, and I don't know. I don't know how I
Well,
feel about that. Like, I know she's apologetic about it, but at the same time, like, you should be a little bit better about that.
yeah, so I I get how, I mean, I can't say I get it. I'm not fucking famous or anything, but didn't she tried to keep her and Cecilia's relationship under wraps because at the time that would have ruined their careers. And so Evelyn, despite what Cecilia wanted, she tried her best to cover everything up. Cecilia just wanted to live openly, but Evelyn, that would ruin her career. So she went to lengths to preserve her career, and in so damaging her relationship with Cecilia. And she just wanted to preserve what she had worked so hard to establish. like herself as an actress. And she didn't want to ruin that for Cecilia either, but it was more so out of a selfish thing for me. Um,
I think people
I don't know if
get
I
it,
can
but at
call
the
it
same
selfish
time,
though.
it doesn't. I don't.
It doesn't
It's interesting how
excuse.
much of a gray area Evelyn is. Like she's very morally gray.
Yeah.
That's interesting to me. I really liked that about the book, but I, I don't know how I feel about her because she's so like morally gray. Um, I will say she does do that. So towards the end of the book, and spoiler alert, obviously, if you have not read this book, but I don't know if she can be redeemed when she does take it too far and Harry is drunk driving
Hmm.
and kills, and this is where you find out that the why she picked this specific journalist. Harry was drunk driving and killed a man, and Evelyn removes Harry from the car, or they were like, was it they were friends and the passenger died? Yes.
They were friends and the
They were friends.
passenger
Oh, it was
died.
his new partner. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
the journalist's father is Harry's new partner. Because Harry's other partner, I think, died. And um, yeah, because Celia's husband dies, and that's Harry's
Mm-hmm.
partner. So
Mm-hmm.
Harry's got a new partner, and it ends up being the journalist's father. Um, and she did not know, nor did her mother know, that he was having an affair with a man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they were, Harry was driving and he was drunk. Um, and his partner was in the passenger seat. He dies. Evelyn removes Harry from the car and puts, I don't remember the journalist's father's name, the partner. She puts him
Mm-hmm.
in the driver's seat and made it look like he did it. And goes and
Mm-hmm.
gets Harry help, of course. And that's how the journalist's dad had died when she was a kid. And she was like, I always thought it was so strange because he just, like, doesn't really drink and stuff. Like, that's just not something he would do. Well, don't worry, it isn't something he would do because he didn't do it. Harry was driving and he died.
Yeah.
And Evelyn was like, I made it look like your dad was drunk driving.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is really fucked up to cover up
Yes.
Harry. And she stays married to Harry at the end, right? Until he dies.
Yes.
Yeah, they stay together because they end up having a kid. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if that. I don't know. That's not you. That is not okay. I don't know if you can be redeemed from that. Maybe you can. And she
Yeah.
like basically tells the reporter, she's like, I'm giving you all of this information to publish when I die because she's sick and she's dying like immediately. And she's like, and you get to keep all of it, all of the money that you'll make off of this, and you'll make a lot. And I'm sorry that your dad died.
Uh, okay.
And I
So
don't, I don't know.
the entire life, the journalist thought that her dad was drunk driving and he was just that kind of guy. And then Evelyn's like, actually, I had something to do with that. And
Actually,
I was
my
like, that's a
husband killed your
twist.
father, and also your
Yeah.
father is gay.
Yeah. See, I did not expect that. That was a nice little twist. I actually I wouldn't call it nice.
No,
Um,
I was like, ooh, that is fucked up. I don't
yeah,
know.
so
I don't know. Ooh, you
I'd hate that
forgive
fucker
somebody?
too.
You
I
can't give,
mean,
like, yes, give me your money because that's the least you could do, but I don't know if money is enough. I don't think, like, that's
mhm,
not, you can't put a price on that.
yeah. Mhm.
So,
Um, but I do think Evelyn is a very interesting character. she just, you know, I don't think, God, I don't know. I do think that some of the things she did were uncalled for and unnecessary, but to her, in her brain, it was a means to an end, and it was worth it for her.
I love that.
Always.
I love that she is willing to accept the consequence for her actions always,
Mm-hmm.
and I also love that in the book there are times where you're really like rooting for her, and you're like, yeah, good call. You know what? Who cares? Like, get it. And then at times you're like, Jesus Christ.
No, for real. Yeah. I
Like,
think it's very cool because in the book they add like little newspaper articles inserts about like how the public would be seeing how Evelyn and her friends or what they're doing and how it looks to the public, and it's just that gave a very interesting look into like I guess the paparazzi or how they work, I guess, or how it is to be famous. Because like she I don't know, it's just so crazy. It was very interesting to see how famous people in the tabloids, how that all works out. Because that did give some insight. Not that I can say specifically right now, but I do remember that was what I thought.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, anything else for you?
I don't know. This one, I don't really necessarily have a whole lot to say about it because it's one of those books I think you should just go and read
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot that you can sit with on your own. Um, but I don't know. Yeah, I do just love that it is. Um, it's just a morally gray book, and I appreciated that. I think I ended up thinking a lot about like I'm like, am I morally gray as well?
Me as fuck.
Right? Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
appreciated it. It was a good book. Loved the representation though. That was great. I was really surprised by that because I was not expecting that. That came out of left field, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
because you never see that.
Yes. Oh my
I feel like
God,
it's
that was
really
such
rare
a
to find a
pleasant
book with some
surprise.
representation.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. And there's
Also,
so much.
their
Oh
relationship made
God.
me tear up quite a few times because I was just like, I really just want them to be together, but they're just never on the same page. You know?
Right person, wrong time type of thing.
Anyways,
Yeah. Well,
God,
they always found each other. They always found their way back to each other.
you know,
Uh,
people like fantasize about the 50s.
yeah.
After reading this book, which I've never fantasized about the 50s, but like reading this book just solidified that for me. I'm like, God, why?
Yeah.
Why?
That is
Like,
what they romanticize. Her life, her romance. Oh,
you have to hide
Lord have
it.
mercy. Yeah. And it's something, it's so sad. Something that has such a profound impact on someone like that.
Yeah.
And you have to hide it. That is fucked up. I'm so excited. Pride Month is coming. We are all going to be gay. We're all going to be crazy and proud that we can do this, out in public and be who we are. Motherfucker, I'm going to be so gay.
Are you gonna
I'm
go
going
to
to
a
be so
parade? I think
gay.
there's a parade here in the
Oh, there
city.
is. There
Yeah.
is. Yeah, me and my friend Abby
So
were thinking about going. And if Abby doesn't go, I'll go with my friend M, and then we should hang out. We
yeah, no,
should
definitely
go.
let me know if you come up this direction for that.
Yes, yeah.
Because I'm sure I feel like this area puts on a pretty
Hmm.
big one. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
and we're close. We're like 20 minutes from like downtown.
Oh, delicious.
I
Yeah, that's
know.
good.
But
That's
it's
good.
super hilarious because I live in very much like gentrified suburbs, and then like 20
Um,
minutes down the highway, you get like the nice downtown and stuff. So
okay.
I live in suburbia right now. It's hilarious.
Oh boy.
Like I live next
Anyway.
to the Stepford Wives.
Oh.
It's fun.
Okay, so yeah.
So yeah, this one, 12 out of 10 on a read. I don't really have a whole lot of talking points for this one. It's just one of those that I genuinely think you need to go read for yourself and
Mhm.
um, see what you take away from it.
It is a Pride Month must-have.
It is.
Definitely.
For Pride Month, you should read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That is a Pride
Definitely.
Month. And, however, next week are we doing Haunting Adeline next week?
We're doing Haunting Adeline. Next week, we perhaps covering Haunting Adeline,
I think that's the one we're
which, trigger warnings out the wazoo.
Really? Have you started it?
Literally, yes. I'm like, I've got like 7 hours left on the audiobook.
Oh, God. I keep
Yeah.
I hear that it's just, I'm really intrigued, but I'm worried that I'm either going to love it or I'm going to be very upset.
Well, if you listen to it with earphones. Don't do it out in public on speaker. That's all I have to say about that.
I'm just
'Cause I was doing that.
with it on like the loudest speaker.
That's what I was doing.
Were you doing that?
I was doing that. And like anytime someone walked by my room, I had to like pause it. Anyway, yeah, so don't do that. Don't do that. But
somebody said that hold on, I'll give you the song that somebody said goes really well with the book, and the song
Haunting Adeline?
slaps. Yeah, the song slaps pretty hard. I like it. Pause. Let me see here. You Put a Spell on Me by Austin Giorgio.
Never heard of that in my entire life.
Okay, well, listen to it.
Okay, You Put a Spell on Me.
By Austin Giorgio.
Can you send that to me, actually?
Yes. I can definitely do that. I forget that I can do that off of Spotify. I'm so talented. Wow. Technology.
That's so interesting. Someone finding a song that goes perfectly with a really fucked up book.
They like suggested, they're like, hey, this goes really well with this book. And I was like, I like heard it and I was like, this song is like slusty. Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
I really liked it. So that made me want to read it even more.
Yes.
So, 20 out of 10.
Yeah. So that's going to be a roller coaster. But anyway.
I'm excited. We'll see how I feel about it.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think I'm going to be upset?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
I do think you're going to be upset. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, either we'll be back next week with raving reviews or it'll just be another hour of me complaining about characters. So, I mean, it's been at least 2 weeks since I've complained. So.
Mm-hmm. It's about time.
It's about time. I waited way too long. I need to complain about something.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, everybody, we'll be back next week. Definitely for a little bit longer. I think we'll have a lot to talk about with that one. So have a great week. We will see you later. Farewell. Happy almost Pride Month.
Be gay, do crime.
Exactly. Bye.
Bye.